Hey guys, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. So today for you, I'm going to be sharing 12 new polishes from the China Glaze Glam Finale collection, and I'm super excited about it, so let's get right into the video. First up, we have Toasted Up. It is kind of a golden color, but not quite fully golden, if that makes any sense. I think you guys will understand here. It's kind of a frosty gold. I mean, the name of toast actually kind of really works for this. I get it. Like that warm, toasty color you get on a piece of bread actually kind of works for this. As you can see, there's one coat. It does cover pretty nicely, but it is very streaky. So we are going to let that dry and add a second coat. Okay, it is now time for our second coat of Toasted Up. This is a shade that I feel like you need to see in person before purchasing because it may act different on different skin tones. This one definitely pulls more gold on me, but some other skin tones it may kind of be yellowy, and there is two coats as you can see. It is still a bit streaky in places like over here, so and there's not much you can do about it. It does dry down and hide them a teeny bit, but really they're there the whole time. Next up, we have As Good As It Glitz, which is a foil-like polish. It reminds me a lot of those ones that a few companies released a few years ago that are meant to look like chrome on your nails. This one is like a rose gold attempt at that foil look. We're going to put it on. Now, I have used this a few different ways, and I've noticed it does best on the naked nail, actually. I put it on top of a ridge filling base earlier today, and it just kept wanting to like slide right off. So even though I always suggest a good base coat, this one actually does better without a base coat. So here's one coat. It covers pretty well. It does have a few streaks and a few spots, but this one does dry down to more of a matte like finish, so some of the streaks do disappear. However, usually if you put on a shiny top coat, they do tend to reappear. So we are going to let this first coat dry, and we're going to apply a second coat to see what happens. Okay, it is now time for our second coat for As Good As It Glitz. And again, like I already mentioned, this one does have a tendency to get a little streaky, so you do have to be pretty mindful of it, but it doesn't dry too fast, so I mean, you have room to play with it. Next up, we have Sleigh Bell Rings, which is kind of a gunmetal gray. It's actually really pretty. It is very sparkly, as you guys can see. It is a tad bit sheer on the first coat, but I do believe we are going to have full coverage in two coats. There is one coat of Sleigh Bell Rings. Okay, it is now time for our second coat of Sleigh Bell Rings. Sleigh Bell's Ring. For some reason, I'm having a hard time saying that. Sorry. Okay. This one does have a really nice and easy to use formula. I really like how this one looks on, and it dries pretty shiny as well. Of course, I obviously suggest a top coat, but it does have a nice shiny finish. And full coverage in two coats. Next up, we are going in for the Cobalt Blue in this collection. It is called New Year, New Boo. It is a really, really, really pretty cobalt blue. However, I'd say it appears lighter in the bottle than it does on the nail, and it also kind of has a hint of purple to it. This is one of those colors that a lot of people view differently, so it's up to everyone's own interpretation. But I consider this like a royal blue. And as you can see, it looks very dark on the nail. However, it does have quite a bold cobaltness when you see it in person, I think. However, on camera, it definitely looks like it is pulling a bit more purple. However, that is one coat, and I have full coverage. So I'm going to leave you there with one coat of New Year, New Boo. Obviously, if you do your coats thin, then you are going to need about two coats. However, I did this like moderately, I would say. I would say what I consider a normal coat, and I got full coverage. Next up, I am moving on to the purpley sparkle in this collection. This one is called Queen of Sequins, and it is definitely like a berry toned purple that has a gold shimmer in it. It is kind of a hard one to put into words. I feel like a lot of companies are coming out with purples like this as of recently, but this one definitely doesn't pull that cream pigment like some of them have. This one is definitely a sheer start, as you guys can see here. You can still see through to my nail in places. However, it is off to a really good start and covers really nice and evenly. So there is one coat. I think you can really see some of the purple sparkles, even a hint of blue in there, and like a marsala shade picking up, which makes it super fun. Now it is time to go in with our second coat of Queen of Sequins. As you can tell, this is probably going to look almost black from afar. However, up close you are going to be able to see that it is a purple toned shade. It is really lovely, deep, dark, and vampy, which is nice for the winter. And actually, I feel like this is a great one for fall too. So there is 2 coats and we have full coverage. Now we are moving on to the glittery portion of this video. Something to keep in mind is that all of these glitters can be used as toppers, or they can be used built up for full coverage. First up, I'm going to start with the turquoisey shade, and this is called Teal the Fever, and it is filled with turquoise and green sparkles. I'm going to show you it in 2 coats just so you guys can see how it would be alone. However, in the swatch pictures, I'm going to show you 1 coat on top of one of the other colors you guys have already seen. So there is 1 coat of Teal the Fever. As you can see, it comes out pretty nice and evenly. I didn't do any fishing. I didn't really have to work at placing them anywhere. Obviously, it looks a little bald towards the middle of my nail, but for the most part, I would say they applied pretty evenly. Now it is time for our second coat of Teal the Fever. As I already mentioned, I'm only going to show these glitters in 2 coats, and then the swatch pictures will be in 1 coat over another polish. So this would probably take about 3 coats to get full coverage if you wanted to wear this like glitter alone. However, there is 2 coats. It looks really nice. Obviously, I personally would prefer to wear it on top of something. But if you are going to wear it alone, I would suggest maybe doing 1 coat with the brush and then maybe sponging on the rest. That might actually get you a fuller look faster. But there is 2 coats of Teal the Fever. Next up, it is time for the gold glitter in this collection, and it is called Big Hair and Bubbly. It is really fun. It is, I would consider, a micro glitter topper. There is no mix of like really big glitters, and this one kind of goes on really thin, if that makes sense. Like, it's a sparse covering yet perfect at the same time. There are a whole bunch of little glitters, so you're not getting like a whoa big gold glitter in there that you're only going to have a few of. It looks really nice, I think. And here is 1 coat. Now it is time for our second coat of Big Hair and Bubbly, and then I'm going to show it to you on top of a polish. This one is just really pretty. I feel like this is going to be a great like year-round golden glitter to use as an accent nail. And I mean, 2 coats, I mean, that actually has pretty good coverage if you wanted to wear it by itself. Obviously, you can still see through to the naked nail. But 3 coats might get you really, really close to full coverage. And if not, like I mentioned earlier, you could definitely sponge these on, and I feel like you'd get a good amount of coverage. And next up, we have the silver holographic glitter, which I am super excited about. This one is called Disco Ball Drop, which I think you guys will totally understand why when you see it. But this is basically a dupe for Techno, which they released years ago, which was one of my favorite glitter toppers when I started nail art. So it's super exciting to see this like come back. It's like a revamped version of Techno because there's a lot more glitter in it, I would say. And it's just packed fuller. Now, this one you do kind of have to worry about like the placement of the glitters, but as you can see, that is pretty easy to manipulate. And I really didn't go back in the bottle to get more. So there is one coat. This is definitely one I would not suggest wearing by itself. I would definitely wear this as a topper just because I also feel like it looks the best as a topper and not built up. Because if you're going to build this up, you might as well just wear a Hello Polish and not use like a bajillion coats of a glitter topper, if that makes sense. So there is one coat. We'll let that dry and put on a second coat to see what it looks like in two. And now it is time for our second coat. I just love this topper, and I just think it's so much fun. Also, fun tip that I've learned over the years, if you are using like a glitter topper that has the really big chunky ones in it, hold your bottle upside down for a little bit before you use it, and that'll help some of the bigger glitters go to your brush. I found that very helpful. And anyway, moving on, there is two coats of Disco Ball Drop. It is so much fun, and I cannot wait to use this one. We are now done with the glitter toppers, so I'm going to be moving on to the glitter jellies in this collection, which consist of two different polishes. First up, I'm going to show you Don't Be a Snowflake, which is honestly my favorite one from this fall collection. It is so different, and it's one of those polishes that you're either going to hate or you're going to love it. So be prepared. This is like a white based jelly polish filled with like the same glitters that you guys just saw in Disco Ball Drop. So it's a white holographic jelly polish, and I'm kind of obsessed. Now, here is one coat. As you can tell, it is super sheer, and it is nowhere near full coverage in one coat, and it's probably going to take about 2 to 3 coats. So this polish is going to require quite a bit of patience, but I have to say, of course, you can wear it like as a topper on top of a white polish or on top of a gray polish. But that being said, I have used this as a topper on a white polish, and I personally don't like it as much as I like it alone. Now, I've yet to use it on top of like a off-white or like a gray polish, which I do think it would look great with. So I'm going to still try to find a good match to get the true color, but with a cream underneath, so I don't have to do 3 coats. But today I am going to go ahead and show you 3 full coats because that is what you're going to see in my swatch photos. It is now time for our second coat. As you can see, the milkiness kind of disappeared, but we're going to apply that second coat, and the milkiness is going to come back. And like I already said, I actually really love this polish. It is so different, and I don't have anything like it, and it's honestly not even something I would ever really gravitate towards. But the fact that it has the Disco Ball Drop in it, and it just kind of has a very snowy, wintry vibe to it, I'm kind of obsessed with Don't Be a Snowflake. So there's 2 coats. It is now time for that 3rd coat, and that will be the final coat for the video. And that is what you're going to see it in the swatch pictures. And it definitely never really gets that full like creamy base, but it's enough of a milkiness that my nail line is gone, and I'm happy with how it looks. So there it is at 3 coats of Don't Be a Snowflake, and I am just obsessed with this color. Again, like I said, this is one you are going to want to see in person first, probably before purchasing it. Not necessarily going to be one of those online buys because it is such a different polish, and seeing it in person is going to be different than what you guys are going to see online. So before you decide to grab this one, check it out in person. Next up, we have this gorgeous red. Now I'm showing it to you this way so I can kind of chat about it. It is just like Don't Be a Snowflake in the fact that it is a red jelly base, and then it's filled with like red glitters. It is honestly a stunning polish, and I was super excited about it. It is called Sparkle On. However, I have something to show you because this one I had quite a different experience with, and I feel like I need to show it to you guys so you guys can see. So I know this is like overexposed, but I'm hoping it'll help you see. Okay, so here it is. This bottle is super, super goopy. Like, it reminds you of one of those polishes that you've had like for years and haven't touched. So yeah, this one's going to be a tricky application. So as I do that, I'm going to kind of talk you through this a bit. So we're starting with one coat of Sparkle On, and as you guys saw, this one is going to be quite interesting. It is a big old goopy mess. So when I got this polish, I was really excited about it because it was like Don't Be a Snowflake. And after using Don't Be a Snowflake, I had pretty high hopes for this. And I'd seen other swatch videos and it looked pretty decent. And actually a lot of people tend to favor this one over Don't Be a Snowflake. But I am pretty sure this one is just from a bad batch because it is goopy and hard to work with as all get out, honestly. Like, as you can see there, it's very uneven. It's hanging all over my nail. It's coming off the edges, and it's just not a fun experience. So there is one coat. It did cover pretty well, but it's majorly textured, and it would probably take forever to dry completely down. And I would still want a second coat, and you are going to see two coats in the photos. But quickly, I think, as I already mentioned, I think this is from a bad batch possibly. So if you really like this color, because it is really gorgeous. It's like a jelly base with a whole bunch of red glitter and it's super festive and Christmassy. So that leads me to what I was going to say is that if you want this type of color, don't order it online. Go into your closest Sally's, your Ulta, or wherever else sells China Glaze and check the bottle first, because some bottles that I have seen, people have the nice formula. It's just like Don't Be a Snowflake, where it takes, one or two coats to build up and you're good. But then other people have noticed that some of the bottles are really goopy, like this one that you guys just saw me put on. So that is why I think for this one, it is best you go into a store and pick it up so you can literally open the bottle and check it first. I think that will make all the difference. So, wise tip, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully it'll help you from buying something that's no good versus buying something good. So we're going to go ahead and put on a second coat because that is what you guys are going to see in the photos. And as you can see, it is a really pretty polish. But with this formula, it's just so thick and goopy and hard to work with. And I don't know if you guys can see down. I don't think you can. Super textured because of the thickness. So there is two coats. Now let's take a look at the swatch picture. Now it is time for the last two in the collection, and I'm putting these two in the same clip for a special reason. So the next two that I'm going to show you are red and green, both gorgeous colors. They are like shimmery colors that dry matte, which we have been seeing China Glaze do for a while now, which I've actually really grown to love. And at first, these shimmery polishes that went matte were kind of hard to work with, but they have worked on their dry time, and now you actually have enough time to get it onto the nail and apply it how you like. That being said, I ran into some issues with these. So as, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my nails are quite stained. I have done my best to get the stain completely off, but these polishes stained really bad. Since they are both matte formulas, I'm starting to think that maybe there is something in the matte formula that makes these polishes stain. Now, again, I have no clue if that's true, but when I was going over all of it in my head, I remembered that I have a My Little Pony pink that went to the matte finish, and that one stained. I have Partridge in a Palm Tree, I believe it was, from last year's China Glaze Christmas collection, and it was like a minty green, and that one stained. So it is kind of leading me to believe that possibly there is something in this matte formula that results in staining. So there is one coat of each of those. Again, they're gorgeous colors, great coverage. But when I took them off my nails, it was so bad. Like, really, really bad. Some of you may have seen it on my Instagram stories, and if you didn't, I actually am going to go ahead and insert a picture right after this so you guys can see what the staining was like. So first off, we're past first off, I've talked so much. But anyway, the red is called Santa's Side Chick. It is gorgeous. It's just not worth the staining. And I mean, that's one coat. I'm honestly happy with one coat. And then the second one is called The Perfect Holiday. And that's this one. And it is honestly stunning, but just not worth the staining power. That all being said, I'm going to show you the stain pictures, the swatch pictures of them matte, and the swatch pictures of them shiny. So I thought I would go ahead and throw on some top coat to show you them shiny in the video as well, because it is quite stunning. It's just not worth it in the end, because my nails have been stained for quite some time now, and it is taking forever to go away. And also, for anyone who is wondering, like, did you wear a base coat while wearing them? I did wear a base coat. The only time I don't wear a base coat is when I am literally swatching them for like less than a minute and then taking them off. So there they are with a shiny top coat. They're gorgeous. They just stain really badly. So I'm really disappointed to tell you guys that, but it's better to know than not to know. Here is it right after it is dried. And here we have it with a shiny top coat. Next up is a look at it when I removed it, and I did have base coat on. So, major staining. Now onto red after it is dried. It's a gorgeous matte finish. And here it is with some top coat. And then we're going to look at the stain. I have two nails circled that it stained because I use it as an accent nail in nail art, which you guys will be seeing soon. And that is what it did. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of these polishes in action, and I am really excited about this collection. I'm bummed out about the few that stained and the one that had a tricky formula, but overall I feel like it's a really fun range of colors and festive and New Year's like, so I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this one if you want more videos like this and subscribe so you don't miss anything. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!